Okay, so I'm gonna call to order the committee of the whole meeting at 5:32. First up, review of regular meeting agenda. Do any council members have anything on the consent agenda for our regular council meeting that they needed to? No questions or anything? Are you good, Rick? I just want to make sure you're good as well. With
I'm good.
yeah, okay. No, I want to make sure you're
good.
good to go too, because I know how frustrating tech problems are. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to our one discussion item, which is an update on capital facilities plan with Misha Robertson, the Assistant Superintendent of Business and Operations from the Riverview School District. Hello. And feel free to be wherever is comfortable for you.
Do you guys have the slide deck?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just let you know when to advance?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be great.
All right. So I also have with me today Denise Stiffarm from Pacifica Law Group. She is our attorney that we contract with, who helps several districts in the area with our capital facilities planning. At the end, if there's questions, we may bring her up to help assist with some of the questions that might come forward. So this is our 2025 capital facilities plan. It was adopted by our school board on June 24th. And so we're just here today to present that plan to you guys. So the capital facilities plan is developed under the Washington State Growth Management Act. It's really a planning tool for both City of Carnation, City of Duval, King County, as well as the Riverview School District. The plan identifies the different facility needs based on projected enrollment and different service levels within the school district, and then aligns that with our different land use and capital planning work. The plan includes the calculation for school impact fees for future construction projects related to capacity in areas where the district is showing growth related eligibility for those projects. So just to be very upfront in this plan, I don't want to hold the suspenseful information for the end. It's not a thrilling movie. This year's plan does not have the district collecting any impact fees. And we'll walk through some of the different data points that led us to that conclusion this year. That is new for us. That has not happened yet since I've been here, at least in the last 6 years. And I don't know that that's been the case in a long while, because we were a very steady growing district. And over the last several years, we've seen a pretty steady decline in enrollment. And so we'll go through some of that. The overview of our district, we span a 250 square mile border from Carnation, Duval, and many unincorporated King County area. Our enrollment is just under about 3,000 students, and we currently have 6 schools. We have 3 comprehensive elementary schools, a comprehensive middle school, a comprehensive high school, and then we have 2 alternative programs housed at our Riverview Learning Center. One's a parent partnership program, and then one is an alternative high school program called CLIP. So these are the different maps included in the plan. So the map on the right is the map of our district boundaries. The different colors that you see in there, the yellow, purple, and pink, are just the boundary maps for those 3 comprehensive elementary schools and which ones feed to each of those elementaries. And then the map on the left is the urban growth area map of our district. So enrollment trends have been declining for the last several years. The district contracted Flow Analytics, a demographer that came out and did some research to just forecast out the next 10 years of enrollment for Riverview. This is the second time we've hired them to do that. We do that about every other year to get that updated. The 2025 outlook is still projecting a bit of a decline for the next several years across the district. We're seeing that decline mostly in the secondary schools. It is going to start flattening off there towards the end of this plan, where we anticipate to see a little bit more growth in that high school level. And elementary is slowly coming back towards the end of the plan as well. So we aren't projecting a huge amount of growth, which seems odd with all of the homes in the area. There's a lot of different factors we're seeing. Many of the homes having multi-generational families living in those homes, which once their students graduate, they're not selling the homes to new families that are coming in. The new homes that are being built are relatively highly priced. So we're not seeing young families moving into those as often. And then birth rates overall across the entire nation are down. And those are some of the different factors that they take into consideration when they're looking at our enrollment trends. So one of the things that we take a look at is our inventory in our schools and how much permanent capacity that we have in schools. And that's the capacity that we're looking for in terms of needing to add capacity with impact fees. The permanent capacity in our elementary schools, we can house about 1,130 students permanently. We have a head count of just over that, and I think it says 1296. Sorry, these numbers are a little bit small. And so we remedy that with our portable classrooms. And so we have several of those on every single one of our elementary campuses. Our middle school permanent capacity holds about 657 students. Last year's enrollment was just slightly under that at 633. So there are no capacity challenges currently at Tolt. They do have several portable classrooms there at Tolt Middle School, but they are not all being used as classrooms anymore. Those were added when the growth was much higher at that level. And then the high school is sitting right there around their permanent capacity. They have capacity for about 808 students, and they had about 809 last year. Our alternative learning center also is calculated into this. And again, they have a little bit of room still in that school as well. And some of these factors are the reasons that are feeding into the fact that we're not able to calculate out those impact fees. Just kind of an overview of what we just went over. So capacity deficits are really sitting at that elementary level only. Tolt Middle School enrollment has been declining for several years. And so that's led to the fact that they do have sufficient permanent capacity in their buildings as of right now. Our major capital investments that we are looking at in this plan are prioritized at the middle school level. The district pulled together a capital asset advisory committee 2 years ago, comprised of community members who took a look at our facility conditions as well as the different needs across the districts. And because our enrollment has come down, our needs have shifted, and our highest priority now is that middle school, and it reached its end of life. The system needs and the different maintenance needs, as well as the security issues that campus poses, have far outweighed what the cost of upgrading that campus would be versus just rebuilding that campus. So after that committee met the prior year, last year we pulled together a bond planning committee, and they came to that same conclusion presented to our board, and that is the plan. That is the project that is put in this plan as our projection for what we anticipate our next ask might be, pending board approval and all of that going through. Housing growth projections over the next 5 years are still pretty consistent. Lots of new housing starts in our area. Like we mentioned, we're still building houses. We're still seeing houses go up. We're just not seeing that enrollment increasing at the same rate. So this walks through the projected capacity within the buildings based on that enrollment projection. So you'll see that over the next 6 years, we do anticipate that elementary level will still need to utilize those portable buildings. they're sufficient for what we feel like we're going to have in schools. We don't love the fact that students are housed in portable classrooms, but in a community like ours, where we don't always have the ability to replace multiple schools or build multiple schools, things like that, in one bond measure, we have to kind of work with what we have. And so we have, over the past several years, replaced almost all of our older, outdated portable classrooms with brand new classrooms, and they're actually some of our nicest classrooms, because they are some of our newer classes, and all the ones at the elementary schools are new. For the middle school, like I mentioned, there is sufficient capacity at that school currently. When you see 28, 29, we would anticipate going out to build a new middle school that would likely have more capacity than we have right now in our schools. And so that is what you'll see, that increased projection in the 28, 29 year for, but we would eliminate all the portables at the campus at that time. The high school is, like I mentioned, just sitting right there at pretty steady enrollment versus capacity. They also do have several portable classrooms. And so that's where you'll see that surplus of space at that school. The biggest challenge at the high school that we face is the common space area. Fortunately, that doesn't calculate it in these plans the same way as classroom. And then this is just the summary of the overall district altogether. And the largest, of course, deficit is just those elementary schools feeding into that. So that being said, after meeting with the bond planning committee, that's how we came up with the different projects for this 6-year plan. We anticipate over the coming months going to our school board to discuss the option of putting a measure on the ballot. And so that's where you'll see a bond measure on there. We are estimating that rebuild for Tolt Middle School, and then also just some other major facility maintenance that would be needed. And the biggest portion of that is used through our bond or even our capital maintenance levies. And then if needed, we have that portable classrooms ability to build some additional portable classrooms if needed at that elementary level to sustain any growth at that level. This is the information that we gathered from Flow Analytics on what our houses are actually, our single family homes and our multifamily homes are generating in terms of student generation rates. So you can see that very little growth per student, or very little student growth per family home is being generated, and that is contributing to the loss in enrollment in our area. So that leads us to the proposed impact fees that we would collect for the calendar year 2026. We don't anticipate that we will be collecting any fees. We were not able to because that major project lived at Tolt, and it doesn't generate fees, but there's no growth at that, or no capacity related need at that level. So we'll be able to collect for remainder of this 2025 year, and then and with that, I will open it up to any questions that you might have.
Council, do you have any questions? Councilmember Schaefer?
The impact fee you just showed is just based on increased enrollment then?
No. Do you want to Denise will have the legal answers.
I'm curious why we can't.
Yeah.
Can't collect an impact fee.
Yeah, Denise DeFarm with Pacifica Law Group. The impact fee eligibility is essentially 3-pronged. First, the district needs to show that it's projecting growth over the 6-year planning period, and it can show that growth at any grade level. or more than one grade level. And then second, it needs to identify that it has a capacity related need to serve that growth. And then the third prong is that they have a project identified to address the growth. So here, the bond planning committee has identified capacity project at the middle school level, and that's what the district is planning for. But when you look at the district's enrollment projections, they're showing a decline, and they're also showing that even without that added capacity, they will still have adequate room to serve new students that enter the system from new homes. So that's where we get to without having it, what is termed an eligible impact fee project. And the zero fee that results from that.
So the impact fee then doesn't take into account aging facilities that need to be replaced.
Unfortunately, no, it's really just based on capacity need. And in fact, the statute is very specific that impact fees cannot be spent on existing deficiencies, aging facilities. It really is to build new capacity.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you.
Other council members? Councilmember Supple, did you have something?
Yeah, I was wondering what the impact of not having any impact fees is on the city of Duval's budget.
It won't impact the city of Duval. City of Duval is a pass-through to the school district. It will impact the voters in our community because without collecting impact fees or having a capacity related project, the cost of that project falls on the bond versus having those impact fees for this coming year go towards a capacity related project. But there isn't a need, so we can't justify that.
Okay, and I'll just add two quick points to that. One is that while impact fees cannot fund the entirety of a capacity project, it is a nice contribution towards that cost. And then the other point is that the district will be updating their plan in 2026. Obviously, we'll relook at enrollment growth and needs and we'll reevaluate whether at that time impact fees are appropriate to request.
Other questions? Councilmember Schaefer?
Sort of question, sort of comment, I guess, but the projection, I guess my question is, does it take the economy into account? And if so, how? And I say how because of the unpredictability of the economy. We've seen a lot of high-tech layoffs recently. I would assume high-tech because of the younger crowd there contributes, kids to the school system quite a bit. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, in terms of, we are seeing, this year, I feel like we are seeing more students coming back. We had a pretty significant drop last year and we saw very little drop over the summer and more students coming back. And we do feel like some of that may be a result of parents that were homeschooling before maybe are returning to work. It could be that parents that were opting for private schools or things like that, financial situations have shifted slightly. It's not a huge amount and actually we're very close to target. I think we're within one student of Flow Analytics projection this year. So that's very good. Last year, they actually had over projected us about 150 students. So they made some adjustments, looked at the data again, and there were some big changes. I'm assuming the economy has a little bit to do with it. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Any other questions? I'm not thinking. Well, thank you very much for coming tonight and.
Yeah, any other questions, you're welcome to email us anytime.
Okay, so thank you so much. All right, so that was our one item. Next we'll go to good of the order. Any council members have anything for the good of the order? If not,
The administration.
yeah, is that what you were gonna say or?
Yes,
just-
that was what
Okay,
I-
yeah, that's what I was gonna leave for. Okay, do we wanna go ahead and do the city administrator's reports? Sure. Or update? Thanks.
We're
That's update.
cleaning it up right now. Good afternoon, council, mayor, John Botero, not the city administrator, as you could see, we're going to kick it off with, Director of Public Works, Steven Linichevsky. All yours.
Thank you, John, so kind.
Of course, my pleasure.
And he says the name right, you know, a guy who speaks a lot of languages really says names right.
One tries.
Okay, so, not a lot, not that there's not a lot going on, but some of the highlights to share. We in the budget have a 2.2 million gallon reservoir upgrade. So in preparation for that, it's a long process of analyzing our system, the physical asset of the tank and its infrastructure, pumps and et cetera. So analyzing all that is what we're working on right now. And this is to build next fall when we enter into the slow draw season. So summer's the peak. We wouldn't take it offline in the peak, but we take it offline in winter. So right now we're working on a lot of things, and one of them will be taking that tank offline next week. Which is pretty interesting. We haven't had, they used to clean and access and inspect tanks by taking them offline. And then there's a 4-foot porthole on each side of the base, on 2 sides of the tank. They used to take that off and go inside and do inspections. So we haven't done that in a while because we usually actually have sent divers down to do the work for us. So video inspection, live inspection, they're sanitized, they go in, swim, and then come out and share their video. So we're going a full inspection next week, so we're working on a lot of system checks this week. Shouldn't be anything anybody notices, but just in preparation, doing our due diligence to make sure when we take it offline, everything flowed seamlessly, pun intended. I did attend the Snoqualmie Valley Mobility Task Force meeting last Friday. Very interesting discussion and focusing on you have the Week Without Driving, which is an advocacy tool. And the challenge there is like, hey, try to go a week without having a car. And then you can see how others who don't have a car always have to live. So it was very interesting. I have been partaking in the new 931 route to Woodinville. It's fantastic. I had car service done, so I zipped in because they don't provide you a car anymore to get your car work done. So get right home and then you got to get back. So yeah, 224 goes into Redmond, and then another bus takes you to Totem Lake where the car was in Kirkland, and then straight from here to downtown Woodinville. And kids like, come and get a ride. Like, no, we can get there without buses. It'll just see you in 38 minutes. They are gonna get it. So the group is working hard. I think I feel better about Duval than, you know, Carnation doesn't have direct routes. We have 2 direct routes from here to Metro, and every time, 2 times in the last 2 weeks, I was at those stops. SVT had 2 buses there also going south, and then 1 going north of Monroe. So if you have to, it's good. I think a question that we posed, because the route from here to Bothell, because it goes to Cascadia or Utah Bothell, is if we can, if a kid can't get from Carnation to here to get that bus to there to do running start. My question is, and I haven't asked the district yet, on behalf of the coalition, is can a kid in Carnation get on the regular high school bus to get to Duval, get off, transfer, and just take the bus to Metro? So I meant to ask Steve, their manager, if that's something. I'm sure they would entertain it if they were asked, but I don't know if they have a process. So that's kind of forthcoming, but we are having just sharing Week Without Driving, which is September 29th through October 5th. And it is kind of a cheat for me. I live in town, so usually ride my bike anywhere. But if you put it out there and see how it goes, it does make you a better advocate for those who don't have that opportunity because they have to. So, paving is complete, waiting on a couple more manhole lids. Those are long extensions out. So we ordered those a month ago, and they're still just arriving. So iron is still hard to get. And then we are working with the, I'm sure people saw online, but the 145th and 3rd Ave improvements. So sightlines are being improved and working diligently out there to do what we can to continue to improve it. So baby steps. Good news is speeds are coming down from the speed study we conducted, and people are just paying attention. So whether you like the internet or not, it can provide attention to a topic. People, I think we're pretty good at the end. So that's all I have to report on that this time. Flu season's here. We did send out an emergency management message. Get flu shots. We got 3 people out this week. Already, first week of school is the worst week of school, put it on
Yeah.
a t-shirt. Any questions?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Community Development Update. The Duval Moss resubmitted last week for its third review. It will likely go to Planning Commission for design review probably the next 8 weeks. A lot of changes and revisions have been made based on city comments and the needs of the mosque. So we're pretty confident that we're kind of at the very end of that and ready to prepare for Planning Commission. The Gene Society first round review is complete, and that project came in probably just over a month ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. We were able to turn that one around pretty quickly. Acres of Diamond, the first round review will be completed this week, so we're excited about that. That's a project that's had kind of like just a lot of starts and stops because it takes quite a bit of money for a nonprofit, you know, to save up, fundraise, and construct their building. We did complete the draft impact fee code amendment, and we also sent it to Commerce last week, so it's officially started its process. You'll see in your packet there is a written report, and we'll start the Planning Commission and Council that's moving forward. Just like any other GMA project, it goes to Commerce for a 60-day review. We issue a threshold determination. It goes to Planning Commission and Council for a workshop, and it goes to each of the bodies as well for a hearing and a decision. So that all being said on the calendar, it's a January adoption. Main Street public hearing is scheduled for October. We completed Planning Commission a couple of weeks ago. So we're excited to get that project moving and under construction. They are already working on their engineering designs and are also already selecting a company to complete the construction. So that's really good news. Co-housing phase 2 draft has been completed. The phase 1, which is going through Planning Commission and soon to go through council, was submitted to Commerce, but now we have our second phase that we have ready to also submit to Department of Commerce. Co-housing, building, high impact fee definitions are scheduled for the next Planning Commission meeting. That's a pretty heavy fall and winter for them, but it's a lot of good work and it'll get done. We have a mixed use project that we held a pre-application for actually quite a while ago, which is north of Copper Hill Square. So I had to do a little squeeze so it wouldn't like make the word smaller. We're meeting with them tomorrow for their pre-submittal, which is a really good opportunity for us and for them to ask each other questions on what's required for the submittal of the development project. And that is 3 commercial mixed use buildings on that particular piece. So stay tuned on that. Next slide. This is really more of the building update. So we issued the last building permit at 65 degrees, and it happens to be the condo lot. So it's the true multifamily parcel that's out there. We are in the final building frames at Sunset Court. So frames, you can imagine it means the wood part going vertical. Connor Homes is going through administrative design review. It is voluntary, but we're always thrilled to have them come in and do that before they submit permits, just so that we can get any kinks out of the system right away. Duval Tavern final inspection building completed that. Planning Commission is set for tomorrow. I don't know if you noticed, but they have a smallish building that they've erected on the north side of their building, and that really is so that they can put their freezer there. That they have really big business and they wanted some additional space. We set our 2006 training schedule. We have certain people within our department have mandatory training, so we work on that in the fall, get people signed up and make sure we have enough budget for that. Historical permit scanning, so that is one of the items that council was gracious enough to fund an LTE for. So we are 25% complete on that. That means like dragging the boxes out of, you know, where and scanning them individually, naming them, uploading them into OpenGov, and then repackaging them to send them off site. it's a lot of work. It is literally 100+ years of paper. So congratulations to us. It was a big hurdle. So we thought, yay, we're 25% done. Home occupation and business license are kind of an uptick. The clerk's office has been going through and doing a project as well, just to make sure that we're getting everybody to get business licenses and home occupation permits. So we're seeing those come in a little bit more right now, which I would expect given that work. Willow Ridge Lot 21, Building 3 and 4, they finally have occupancy. This is a project that started in the 90s that we can say now is successfully completed. Yes, I did say 1990. Wow. So super excited about that. You know, stay tuned on Willow Ridge Lot 22. Their permits expired here soon, maybe in the next week or so. And I don't think they'll start construction, but we did issue them, which means that that project will no longer be vested. That completes my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, Dr. Mixman, Finance Director. So the Finance Department, we're super excited that the Washington Finance Officers Association is in Bellevue this year. Since we don't have to do a lot of travel, we're able to take 3 of our finance team. It really is a great opportunity, of course, to learn. There's so many great session topics, but also to network. We can meet some of the auditors face to face, when it's not quite so scary to talk about some general things. Also, our OpenGov reps are going to be there, so it's another opportunity to connect with them. So super excited for it's a 3-day conference for my team to really get out and connect and learn some new stuff.
For the city clerk's office, I have a question for council. So we do have a meeting on the 30th. Most of that meeting is going to be under executive session. So there is a section on council procedures 5.8 sub A that says all meetings have to be recorded. Now, if we're in executive session, someone watching the presentation would only get a blank screen with something saying executive session will be back at whatever time. There's no audio, there's just that image. So that may make for a thrilling view, but I wanted to ask if council is amenable to suspending rule 5.8 sub A, which requires us to record that. If council is so amenable, then we can add it to consent so that the meeting on the 30th does not have to be recorded. And that would also save some staff time. I'm going to be out of the office, so will Kelsey. And Jonathan has been, he would be doing the recording if council decided that no, let's have a recording. But if not, then that frees up some staff time as well. So if everybody is okay with it, we can just add that suspension to the consent, and we won't be there to record it.
So yes.
Yeah, we can't technically vote in here, but we can, like you just said, we can, when it comes up for additions, corrections, we can move, someone can move to add that to the consent agenda.
Okay.
And then I don't want it to, yeah, you can add it too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for administrative updates next. So we are hosting the SVGA meeting on the 24th. It's going to be at the district from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. We have 2 RSVPs from the city. One is Councilmember McHenry. Cynthia would also be attending. If you did not have an opportunity to RSVP and would like to attend, please shoot Kelsey an email no later by end of day tomorrow. There is a Rotary picnic for peace on the 21st from 3 to 6 at Depot Park. along with the March of Vegetables Farm, Forest and Fish Festival from 2 to 4 along the trail. So mark up your calendars. On September 9th, the city administrator met with Councilmember Perry about the tax proposal for the Transportation Benefit District. And she encouraged Councilmember Perry and her team to actually come and speak to council to raise the issue of tax fatigue that here in the city of Duval. As an update from the Cultural Commission, a call for artists will be issued for the Nice Kite mural at Big Rock, as well as the steps on the side of the visitor center. And there's also they're starting to reassess creating a partnership to create a creative district with the Duval Foundation of the Arts. And hopefully some others will join in on that as well. Legislative season is right around the corner. It's about to start next year, so there is some prep work being done now. So that would be part of also identifying city legislative priorities. And one of the main topics to focus on will be a parks build out for next year. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but a special council meeting on September 30th, starting at 5:30. In case I didn't bring that up before, it's not going to be here. It's going to be at the Public Works Building, first floor. So, there's the parking lot on the side, and I'm sure Steve will leave the door open. So you don't have the meeting outside. I mean, it's up to him really, but I'm sure he'll try his best. And over the weekend, next slide, please. Over the weekend, we had, the Historic Society hosted the Harvest Festival. On Friday, they had movie night. I think it was Babe.
Yes.
Yes, it was Babe. Never watched the movie, believe it or not. And on Saturday, they had the full festival from 2 to 7. Quite a lot of staff participated. Kelsey attended and Steve attended Friday night. They volunteered for that. Jonathan, Rita, staff from maintenance and a few others also participated on Saturday. And it was quite good fun. It really was quite good fun. It was an excellent event. There is a video of the rooster contest. Thank you. That was peculiar. I could hear it from where I was standing. Now it's really far away. It was quite good fun. So thank you to all those who participated. And with that, if any members of council present or remote have any questions, we're more than happy to try to answer them.
Does council have questions or comments? I will just say, if anyone missed it, I do have videos, because I was there, of each rooster color.
Oh,
So if
brilliant.
you want to see, there was an English rooster, there was a big variety, so it was a lot of
I
fun.
just watched two that Rita shared with me, and
Very different. There's a broad range of different rooster calls.
but Duval has a lot of talent. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't see anything else, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, we still have quite a bit of time. Do you want to do mayor's report, or do you want to say that for the council meeting? Because we can take a break too, that's fine. But
I'm happy to, we only have a couple items on the agenda and there isn't that much tonight, so
if you want to keep it.
I'm welcome, I'm happy to do it now.
Okay, good.
So quickly, I did want to share that last Friday was the Leadership Eastside Mayor's Luncheon. So it was my 9th year, even though we didn't have during COVID and final. Because before I was elected mayor, I was mayor pro tem, and the previous mayor was unable to go, so he put me on the panel. So that was a really great time with some good conversation. I got roasted a little bit for being the mayor up there on the stage the most times. And then also roasted by Mayor Thompson from Bothell. From something that I said, we had a conversation we had when he was a new council member and he said, I have no idea what I'm doing. And we were having a conversation and he goes, and I told him, well, I do know what I'm doing, because I did. And so it was kind of a joke amongst everyone, but it was really lovely to have that last experience and looking forward to seeing next year's panel with new faces. We also had an Association of Washington Cities legislative priority meeting. That updated agenda, has been forwarded on to the AWC board for approval, and starting tomorrow, I'll be at my last and final Association of Washington Cities board retreat as the past president, where we will approve that legislative agenda as well as make updates to our priorities for the coming year. I will save a moment of silence for our meeting. There's been a lot going on this week, so I will save that for the actual formal meeting, but beyond that, I have nothing else to report.
Thank you. Do any council members have a report that they'd like to share during COW instead of during the council meeting? No, I have just a little bit. I had sent this in email, I think. Oh, no, maybe, no, I did send this an email. I'm pretty sure. Sorry, it's been busy. So Thursday, October 9th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Rustic Cabin Coffee. And then Thursday, November 13th from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at CC's Espresso would be our next two council chats. I'm assuming we're probably going to take December off. Just that's usually one of those months. So if you couldn't make it to the last council chat that we had at Kona Poke House, these are the next two coming up. I'll add them as events in our Outlook and send invites to you all, and then it's really helpful if you can RSVP so that we can gauge who wants to be there. I think I had heard from Councilmember Olin that you'd like to attend any that you can. So if others want to, then we can just, figure out who's going, and so we don't get more than 3. I think, well, besides, I would just add the Harvest Festival was amazing. That was such a great event. So many people showed up. I loved how long it was too, because I mean, we just went to the beginning part and then we went home. They got really hot really quickly, but I know some people went and hung out all day. Some people went more toward the end. So it was just a really nice, well done event, and just so thankful to all the people that helped with that. And that's all I have. So nothing else? Okay, I guess
We can adjourn until 7.
yeah, we'll adjourn till 7. We can go get a coffee or something. So we'll adjourn at 6:15.
Right, is everybody on screen? Okay. I'd like to call the Tuesday, September 16th, Duval City Council meeting to order. If you would please join me and rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Yeah. Mayor Oberlander,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mercer, Councilmember Olin,
He's here.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Councilmember McHenry.
Here.
Councilmember Supple,
Here,
Councilmember Naplin,
Here.
Councilmember Hufel.
Here. All right, thank you.
I'm here. My audio is muted. Apologies.
We got you, Councilmember. Can we
Thank
see
you.
all the council members on this screen? Because we've got, it looks like we do have everyone here, but Councilmember Mercer, but we can only see Councilmember Supple and Councilmember Olin.
Councilmember Naplin has her video turned off, but she is there.
Okay. All right, then. All right, do we, under additions and corrections to the agenda, under consent, please add, the agreement of council to not record the September 30th special meeting due to the fact it will be almost exclusively in executive session. That will be the only topic discussed. Do we have a motion to approve this evening's council agenda?
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those,
Aye.
all those opposed, please say no. Motion passes. And then I think, since I can't see the council member, I think clerk, we're gonna need some help on making sure that there's recognized because I cannot see hands because the camera's off, nor can I hear very well through the system. So if the council member can turn on the camera, that would be very helpful for the chair. All right, we'll move on to proclamations. The first one we have this evening is for Hispanic Heritage Month, and I will read it in English. And our city clerk will read it in Spanish so that I don't mess up the translation. Oh, you do have one, okay. Whereas Hispanic Heritage Month, observed from September 15th through October 15th, is a significant time when we, along with communities nationwide, celebrate the rich histories, vibrant cultures, and invaluable contributions of Hispanic and Latino Americans. Whereas the Hispanic community, a tapestry of diverse backgrounds, languages, and traditions, has played a pivotal role in shaping the character, growth, and prosperity of our region. Whereas in the city of Duval, we are deeply enriched by the talents, hard work, and dedication of our Hispanic residents. Their contributions as business owners, educators, artists, public servants, volunteers, and neighbors are invaluable, and we appreciate and respect their daily efforts. And whereas the tradition, music, cuisine, and values passed down through generations within the Hispanic community strengthen the social and cultural fabric of Duval. They remind us of the importance of unity, family, and community, fostering a sense of connection and shared identity. And whereas recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month provides us an opportunity to deepen our understanding of history, celebrate cultural diversity, and continue working together to ensure that Duval remains a welcoming and inclusive community for all. Now, therefore, I, Amy Oberlander, Mayor of the City of Duval, do hereby proclaim September 15th, 2025 through October 2025 as Hispanic Heritage Month in the City of Duval. I call upon all residents to honor and celebrate the achievements, traditions, and contributions of the Hispanic and Latino Americans who make our city and our nation stronger.
Thank you. Considerando que el mes de la herencia hispana, que se celebra del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre, es un evento significativo en el que, junto con las comunidades de todo el país, celebramos la abundante historia, la cultura vibrante y las invaluables contribuciones de los hispanos y latinoamericanos. Y considerando que la comunidad hispana, un entramado de diversos orígenes, idiomas y tradiciones, ha desempeñado un papel fundamental en la formación del carácter, el crecimiento y la prosperidad de nuestra región, y considerando que en la ciudad de Duval nos enriquecemos profundamente con el talento, el trabajo arduo y la dedicación de nuestros residentes hispanos. Sus contribuciones como empresarios, educadores, artistas, empleados públicos, voluntarios y vecinos son invaluables y apreciamos y respetamos sus esfuerzos diarios. Y considerando que las tradiciones, la música, la gastronomía y los valores transmitidos de generación a generación dentro de la comunidad hispana fortalecen el tejido social y cultural de Duval. Y considerando que nos recuerdan la importancia de la unidad, la familia y la comunidad, fomentando un sentido de conexión e identidad compartida. Y considerando que reconocer el mes de la herencia hispana nos brinda la oportunidad de profundizar nuestra comprensión de la historia, celebrar la diversidad cultural y seguir trabajando juntos para garantizar que Duval siga siendo una comunidad acogedora e inclusiva para todos. En virtud de lo cual, yo, Amy Okerlander, alcaldesa de la ciudad de Duval, proclamo entre el 15 de septiembre hasta el 15 de octubre del 2025 como el mes de la herencia hispana en la ciudad de Duval. Animo a todos los residentes a celebrar los logros, las tradiciones, contribuciones y reconocer los retos de los hispanos y latinoamericanos que hacen a nuestra ciudad y nuestro país más fuerte.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now moving to National Preparedness Month. Whereas National Preparedness Month is recognized each September to promote family and community disaster planning and to encourage individuals to take proactive steps to prepare for emergencies. And whereas the city of Duval is unwavering in its commitment to the safety, security, and well-being of all residents, businesses, and visitors. We recognize that preparation today helps ensure a stronger, more resilient community tomorrow. We are here to support our community and its preparedness efforts, and we encourage all businesses and residents to take proactive steps to prepare for any emergencies that may arise. Whereas Duval faces potential hazards such as floods, wildfires, severe storms, earthquakes, and other emergencies that could disrupt daily life, making it essential for all individuals and families to have emergency plans, supplies, and communication strategies in place. And whereas this year's National Preparedness Month theme, Be Ready, Stay Ready, emphasizes the importance of taking simple but vital steps such as making a plan, building an emergency kit, staying informed, and helping neighbors who may need extra support. And whereas preparedness is a shared responsibility requiring collaboration between individuals, families, businesses, schools, first responders, and government agencies to ensure that Duval remains a safe and thriving community. And whereas by learning more about the potential hazards in our area and taking time to prepare, the residents of Duval can reduce risks, respond effectively, and recover more quickly in the event of a disaster. Now, therefore, I, Amy Okerlander, Mayor of the City of Duval, do hereby proclaim September 2025 as National Preparedness Month in the City of Duval. I urge all residents to seize this opportunity to take proactive steps to prepare themselves, their families, and their community for any emergencies that may arise. Let's make this a month of action, a month of preparedness, and a month of community resilience. Next proclamation is Week Without Driving Day. Whereas access to mobility is a fundamental part of health, safety, and community connection, allowing residents of the City of Duval to reach education and employment opportunities, medical services, shopping, recreation, and visit friends and family, and is one of the state of Washington's 6 transportation system policy goals, including investing public dollars to improve the movement of people throughout Duval. And whereas, as the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates, the cost of owning a car is approximately 72 cents a mile, with average household spending on transportation reaching $10,961 a year in 2021. Many people cannot afford the cost of a car, and nearly a third of the people residing in the U.S. do not have a driver's license, either because of their age or a condition that does not allow them to drive. And whereas public transportation and a robust network of sidewalks and bike paths are not universally available, posing significant challenges for those who cannot or do not drive. Recognizing this, we are committed to improving access to public transportation and enhancing pedestrian and cycling infrastructure. And whereas investing in pedestrian and bike-friendly infrastructure can greatly enhance alternative mobility options in communities across King County and our state. Coupled with public driver education initiatives, we can foster a culture of patience and understanding among drivers, making the road safer for all. And whereas enhanced public transportation not only benefits our residents, but also those who work or would like to work in the city of Duval, including staff members who work for the city of Duval. And whereas transportation is the most significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions in the United States. To meet our state's ambitious emission reduction goals, we must prioritize reducing emissions from the transportation sector. And whereas participating in the Week Without Driving is a powerful way to contribute to our collective efforts to improve our transportation system. By exploring and utilizing alternative modes of transportation, we can all make a significant impact on reducing traffic and emissions in the city of Duval and the Snoqualmie Valley. Now, therefore, I, Amy Okerlander, Mayor of the City of Duval, do hereby proclaim September 29th through October 5th, 2025 as Week Without Driving in the city of Duval, and urge all residents in our city to join me in this special observance and participate by riding the King County Metro DART 224, DART 931, Snoqualmie Valley Transit, or King County Metro's Access Transportation, or by bicycling around town or walking to your destination if you can. One more proclamation. This one is for Stormwater Awareness Week. Whereas stormwater comes from precipitation that falls on hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground, becoming runoff. Runoff becomes polluted, higher wear particles in vehicle fluids, fertilizers, pesticides, bacteria, sediments, litter, and or pet waste as it runs along roads, sidewalks, parking lots, roofs, and lawns. And whereas runoff flows into the storm sewer that eventually flows untreated into waterways like rivers, streams, lakes, and oceans, and the Snoqualmie River. And whereas plants and soil filter water and improve water quality, on-site improvements such as porous pavement, stormwater ponds, native plants, rain gardens, bioswales, and other best management practices help with pollution prevention and treatment in stormwater runoff. And whereas Washington State is a leader in promoting pollution prevention and mitigation for our stormwater discharges. And whereas by focusing attention on pollution prevention in stormwater runoff, Washington State will continue to meet the challenges associated with polluted runoff. Whereas Stormwater Awareness Week is an opportunity for local government, industry, and environmental organizations to recognize the potential of stormwater pollution prevention within our rivers, lakes, streams, and other water bodies. Now, therefore, I, Amy Okerlander, Mayor of the City of Duval, do hereby proclaim the week of October 5th through 12th, 2025 as Stormwater Awareness Week. The state of Washington is calling upon each resident and businesses to protect our water bodies by participating in stormwater awareness events and activities. Now we'll move on to public comment, and I will go ahead and read the rules into the agenda. It looks like we do have several people here this evening. During the designated public commentary period within city council meetings, individuals are allotted a 3-minute speaking duration, while representatives of organizations may address the city council for up to 5 minutes. Before presenting, kindly disclose your full name and city of residence. Each speaker and all remarks shall be addressed to the city council as a body, not to individual members of the council or staff. It is strongly advised by the city to submit verbal comments in written form to expedite subsequent correspondence. Written comments must be received by the city clerk's office by noon on the meeting day, addressed to this P.O. Box 1300 Duval, Washington 98019, or deposited at the City Hall Dropbox located at 15535 Main Street Northeast, or by email. Please be aware that the City Council, its boards, and its commissions solely entertain public comments from attendees present at the meeting in person. The council does not accept handouts or printed material during public commentary sessions. Information intended for the mayor or the city council shall be directed to the city clerk, who will disseminate it following the submitter's instructions. Upon receipt, the city clerk will receive written public comments and subsequently furnish them to the city council or the relevant board or commission. However, it's essential to note that written comments will not be orally presented during council, applicable board or commission meetings. Any written comments received after the noon deadline for written comments will be shared with the council at the next council meeting as part of the city clerk's report. And with that, clerk, do we have a list of folks that have signed up to speak?
Yes, we have one. We have Jeff Hansen with Adventure Community Church.
Mr. Hansen, if you please approach the podium, you'll have 5 minutes.
Well, my name is Jeff Hansen and I live in Duval. Dear City Council, I am representing the local nonprofit organization Adventure Community Church, ACC, where I serve as the lead pastor. Thank you for hearing our request this evening. We have submitted a letter by email to the city clerk for distribution to you. In March of 2020, ACC's 100-plus-year-old church building burned down. Since inception, ACC's purpose has been to serve the local community, not only as a gathering place for the church body, but also as a hub for hosting community programs, such as NA meetings and a popular weekly gleaning program, which welcomes anyone to pick up free food donated by local retailers. These services have continued at temporary locations since the fire, but a physical gathering space remains essential for continuing ACC's mission. The journey to rebuild to original capacity has been long and challenging. To gain permission to rebuild, ACC was required by the city to undertake extensive public upgrades, which are in addition to all the improvements required by building codes. A number of inspector-directed changes, skyrocketing PSC estimates, and bad soil mitigation have escalated the cost of site and public improvements to about $1 million, requiring substantial and ongoing fundraising to cover these non-building costs. For these reasons, on behalf of Adventure Community Church, we bring two requests to the Duval City Council with the goal of being included on the next council agenda to discuss ways to limit these escalating costs. Item number 1. We request that the City Council approve the waiver of a building permit extension fee of almost $4,000. Although ACC received their building permit in March 2024, raised significant funds, and contracted for construction that same month, the broker abruptly halted construction until the project was fully funded. The only feasible solution was to remove the insurance company's involvement by hiring legal help and a judge to pursue a settlement through arbitration, which delayed construction by 1 year. Even with the insurance settlement, ACC continues to require fundraising to cover the increasing costs of the site and public improvements. Today, ACC's building is 6 months into construction and on schedule to be completed by the end of 2025. The delay in construction did not benefit ACC, did not add cost to the city, and was entirely due to the extraordinary efforts needed to raise the funds for the extensive city-required improvements. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the City Council limit this financial burden by waiving the permit extension fee. Item number 2. We request that the City Council consider providing relief or assistance with extraordinary public improvement costs associated with our rebuilding effort. PSC Construction's initial estimate of $45,000 to $55,000 to underground 170 feet of utilities along Stella has now risen to $137,000, which is a figure far beyond a reasonable escalation and one we have no avenues to negotiate. After months of pursuing PSC, we only received this revised estimate a few weeks ago. This cost is particularly difficult to justify, since the existing utilities along the length of Stella Street, about 2,000 feet, are overhead and likely to remain so for many years. Requiring ACC alone to vary a short segment creates inefficiency, adds a minimal public benefit, and results in an outsized cost that exceeds the scope of our project. As a small nonprofit striving to recover from the loss of their historic building, these costs are an extraordinary burden. Therefore, we seek reasonable relief from requirements that were not designed with organizations like ACC in mind. We ask that City Council reconsider the undergrounding requirement for ACC's small segment of frontage, or approve financial assistance to cover the $137,000. As construction is well underway, it is urgent that we receive timely direction from the City Council regarding these requests in order to manage our continued fundraising efforts and complete the project on schedule. We respectfully request that these items be placed on the agenda for consideration at the next council meeting. We appreciate your willingness to work with us in good faith to restore an outpost of history, character, and service to our downtown neighborhood. Sincerely, Jeff Hansen for Adventure Community Church.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that is excited to speak? Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak this evening? Please, Virgin Herman.
Hi, My name is Kirk Brackenbush. I live in Duval. And just in 10 seconds, we're just a church of a few people. It's personally, and some people don't have money at all to pay for this. And if you grant this request that was presented, it will personally save me many thousands of dollars because we're not that. It's not like we have 1,000 people that divide this up between. We're small. And so we're just begging for your mercy.
Anyone else? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve this evening's consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those opposed, please say no. Motion passes. We'll move on to scheduled items. I already gave most of my mayor's report during I gave most of my mayor's report during the committee of the whole, but there's been some definite occurrences that have happened in our country in the last week, and even locally that deserve attention. Not the least of which is the continued rise in political violence in our country, leading to the deaths of individuals, of American citizens. In June, there was a political assassination of sitting elected officials in the state of Minnesota. Last week, it was a political person, and that political violence is absolutely 100% unacceptable in our country. In addition, I learned today that a fellow mayor in Washington State, from the action of simply trying to protect his staff from the abuse of a council member, has been receiving death threats by his actions to not allow staff to be in meetings and undergo verbal and potential physical violence in their place of work. That is extraordinarily disturbing, that by simply an elected official doing their job of protecting staff, that they are receiving physical harm threats to their families. This is unacceptable in our country. And I want to call attention to this, that no matter where you stand on issues, political violence is not okay. If you see something, say something. Make sure that this does not happen in our country again, and please be a part of the solution to stop this violence. One of the most challenging things that also occurred last week on the same day as the political assassination is, yet again, children went to school and were not safe, with yet another mass shooting in our schools in the state of Colorado. It's getting worse, and silence is not an option. I call everyone to denounce all forms of political violence when you see it. That doesn't mean stopping people's free speech and letting them share their point of view, regardless of what you think of their point of view. But it does mean is calling people out for behavior that could lead to violence or threatens violence, and making sure that if you do hear somebody that is threatening violence, whether it's political or not, that you are contacting the authorities and helping put a stop to this, because without us, it will never stop. And with that, that ends my comments on that. But I wanted to make sure that we're making a statement, and I would ask the council for a moment of silence. Thank you for that reflection. On a happier note, but also sad note, we have a long standing employee who's contributed a lot to our city that is leaving us here in a week. And that is our Community Development Director, Laura Thomas. So I do have a certificate of recognition to share with Director Thomas, as well as Councilmember McHenry has a gift from council. And so I will read this into the record and present it to you. To all whom these present shall come greeting. I, Amy Okerlander, Mayor of the City of Duval, Washington, in appreciation for the many years of service given to the City of Duval, extend my heartfelt gratitude along with that of the Duval City Council and City Government for the significant contribution to our community's growth and development accomplished by Laura Thomas. Ms. Thomas's unwavering commitment thoughtful insights, and tireless efforts have played a crucial role in shaping Duval. Throughout Ms. Thomas' long tenure with the city of Duval, her exceptional leadership and collaborative spirit have been invaluable. She consistently demonstrated a passion for her work, an eye for detail, and a deep understanding of the community's needs and aspirations. Her dedication to excellence and ability to bring people together have left an indelible mark on the lives of residents in our community and her fellow coworkers. We are forever grateful for her service and sacrifice. We celebrate her dedication to public service and to our city. Her work has laid a solid foundation for continued progress and has set a standard of excellence that will inspire future employees. We are confident that the positive impacts of her contributions will be felt for many years to come. It witnessed whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Duval to be affixed on the 16th day of September of the year 2025. And can we get council up for a picture as well?
They get more next year.
We don't need to be by the podium.
Planner's not very good. Hey, yeah, you were.
Get behind.
There.
Is that?
If you
There we go.
Figure this out.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh. And thank you to everybody, all the staff that's from council. Okay, thank you.
And the other scheduled items, we were able to share reporting out during the committee of the whole. So we'll move on to our only item of new business, which is the proposed film policy with Clerk Vitero.
Do you have a hand from Councilmember Naplin?
Okay, Councilmember Napland. Councilmember Napland,
She's muted.
you're on mute. I think it might have been accidental. Okay, we'll go on to the film policy clerk.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the public, John Botero, City Clerk. This is the second time we bring a proposed film policy. We received feedback from council last time to create a fee schedule based on a sliding scale. There was discussions as to what that sliding scale would look like. We went back, added that to the policy, which you have in your packets. We adopted sort of three levels: low impact filming, moderate and high impact filming. And we added definitions to what those three are, as well as what the permit fees for those three would be. There were some other very minor changes, but it was just mostly related to wording. But with that, I wanted to ask council if there were any questions or any other suggestions to improve on the film policy.
Councilmember McHenry.
No suggestions. I just wanted to comment. I mean, initially when I, said what I said at the last meeting about thinking of budget, for a movie, but then reading this, I really loved how it's laid out. And I think it's even better than going by a budget. I think it makes sense. So, I was curious, has this worked in other cities, or do you know if this was pulled from, I can't remember if it was
Yes,
here.
I believe, I can't remember, but actually, the fee structure is actually from the city of Kirkland.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was even better than I thought.
Any other council members? Go ahead, Councilmember Schaefer.
I agree with Councilmember McHenry, the fact that the likelihood that a lot of these would be lower budget type filmmakers. The lower fee reflected in this I believe encourages that type of filming, and certainly we do want to encourage this. So I very much support what these revisions reflect.
And with council's permission, we're more than happy to bring it back up if there are any more changes or any suggested edits. If there are none, with council's permission, would like to add it to the consent agenda for the next.
Or another option council has is if you would like to go ahead and approve it this evening, you're welcome to. Save the clerk a few minutes of time.
Let's approve.
I make a motion that we approve the film policy for the city of Duval.
We need a
You need a second.
second. Oh, second. Yeah, I'll second that.
It's been
But
moved.
we don't need a
Agenda bill, so.
agenda bill.
Wait,
This is-
we don't have the agenda bill yet.
We don't.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I apologize. I was misread. So actually, can somebody table it and we'll put it on the consent agenda then?
Consent
Sorry
agenda.
about that.
We'll table it for the consent.
I was
Sounds
trying
like
to be efficient for you, clerk.
Sorry.
All right, so that'll be on the consent agenda for the next meeting. We have one final item of business this evening, and that's an executive session under RCW 42.30.110 sub 1 sub I. Councilmember Napland.
Yeah, I think that I was having technical difficulties and I was unable to unmute and then my entire application froze. So I did have a question earlier and I'm wondering if I could ask it now.
A question for who?
I was not able to attend the COW and typically we have an ability for council to raise something during the 7 p.m. council meeting. And so I just would ask that I would be allowed to do that.
Council, this is up to you. We passed those items on the agenda. It is out of the norm to move forward. We have a council member who is not here at committee of the whole. It is up to you what you would like to do.
Didn't know what
She wants to discuss things that were discussed at the COW now.
I don't want to discuss what was discussed at the COW. I actually the committee or council reports were eliminated from this meeting and shifted to the COW, which I was not there. So I'm asking if I could use the time where I would normally do my council report now.
Okay, go ahead, council member.
Yeah, so we had a public comment tonight and
Excuse me, hold on, please. If you're addressing the public comment that was, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a question about it. It was mentioned that a letter was sent and I never received a letter in the packet under the clerk's report. Maybe I missed it, but I'm just curious if that was sent to council.
The clerk can answer that.
It will be part of the clerk's report for the next meeting. It will be in the next packet.
So I understand that it did not make it in time to be sent to the council.
It was sent, but then we discussed with the person who sent it, who's the architect. We discussed proper procedure as based on previous precedent. And that's why we encouraged the architect to actually encourage public commentary first, as we've done before, and then send the memo. It was a memo to send it and make it as part of city clerk's report for the next council.
Great, thank you, clerk. All right.
That's a little disappointing that council was not made aware.
So Councilmember Napland, like you are now degrading our staff and I don't appreciate that. So let's please not do that. Okay, we just had a conversation about that. Councilmember Napland.
I was not degrading.
The clerk asked and answered your question. You're done. Unless council objects. Thank you. All right, we have no further items of business. So we'll move under executive other new items of business. Our last item of business is executive session under RCW 42.30.110 sub 1 sub I. We do not expect to take action, correct?
Correct.
So if anyone is here expecting action, you do not need to stay because there will be none. You're welcome to stay if you would like. And how many minutes do we expect, clerk?
Let's say 10 minutes.
And, okay. And if we do extend, as usual, we will advise the clerk will notify those listening online or in person. And extend until we come up for adjournment.
Thank you all.
Executive session will resume at 19:50. Executive session will return at 19:55.
When we're ready. All right, Duval City Council has returned to the meeting and we do not have any further business, so we are adjourned unless there are objections at 7:52 PM. Thank you all.
Thank you.